The final breath escapes like a whisper the world never hears. The room falls silent, and yet something lingers, a strange, heavy stillness that even the air cannot carry. The eyes that once blinked with life now stare blankly into the void, and the heart that pulsed with rhythm has surrendered to silence. Around the body, people cry, but their voices sound distant, muffled, as if wrapped in layers of cotton. And amidst that wailing, something impossible happens. A shimmer, a faint hum, a flicker of motion above the still chest. Or perhaps what once was he feels himself rising. There is no pain, no heartbeat, no warmth, and yet a sense of self remains. He looks down and sees his own body lying lifeless. A cold realization seeps in. I am dead. The word itself feels foreign, unreal, like a dream spoken aloud in someone else's mouth. At first, confusion grips him. His mind is awake, but his body is no longer his. The shadows around the corners of the room grow darker, stretching like ink spilling across paper. The sounds of the living blur together. Sobs, whispers, the rustle of white cloth being prepared. Everything seems both near and infinitely far away. In Sanatan Dharma, they say the soul lingers close to its body after death, confused, observing, unwilling to believe its separation. And now, standing at the edge of this truth, he feels the weight of that saying. His consciousness floats, watching his loved ones bathe his body, hearing the mantras, sensing every emotion, yet powerless to move or speak. He tries to touch his wife's shoulder, but his hand passes through her as if through smoke. The feeling is terrifying. Panic rises. He screams, but no one turns. The cry echoes only in the hollow between worlds. The light in the room begins to shift. It isn't from the lamp or the sun. It's something unseen, something ancient. Shadows move without reason. The air thickens, humming with unseen energy. He begins to sense that he's not alone. A faint whisper brushes past his ear. It isn't a human voice. It's deep, echoing, layered with something that doesn't belong to sound at all. It has begun. He turns, searching the darkness. There's nothing, and yet everything feels alive. The walls pulse faintly. The floor seems to breathe. Somewhere far beyond his understanding, he feels a pull, a gentle but undeniable tug, as if invisible hands are summoning him. It's not pain, but it's impossible to resist. He remembers fragments of what the elders used to say. When the body dies, the soul lingers for a while. It is confused, afraid, clinging to what it once knew. The first day is the hardest. The soul must understand that life, as it knew it, has ended. He floats near the ceiling now, staring down at the fire being prepared outside. The scent of camphor fills the air. The sound of chanting grows louder. Om Namo Narayana, Om Shanti. The rhythm is ancient, unbroken. The heartbeat of countless deaths and rebirths. Then, suddenly, a movement in the corner of his eye. A shadow that wasn't there before. Tall, still, watching. It doesn't have a face, not in the way humans do. Its presence feels vast, stretching far beyond the room. The air grows cold. The lamps flicker. Every instinct screams that this is not a dream. He senses that the being is not here to harm him. Not yet. It's waiting. For something. For the rituals to finish, perhaps. For his acceptance. The living cry louder, but the sound fades. The soul feels the pull intensify. Like the slow tightening of a thread between two worlds. He looks once more at his family. The youngest child clings to his mother's arm, her small voice breaking with grief. He tries to whisper her name. Don't cry. but his words turn into a strange echo that bends the air and vanishes. He realizes now what true helplessness feels like. As the pyre is lit, the heat of the flames touches the air. Yet to him, there is no warmth. The fire burns the body, but not the soul. He watches as smoke rises into the sky, twisting like ghostly serpents, and he feels the same invisible pull growing stronger. And then, for the first time, he feels movement beneath his feet, or whatever now serves as feet. The ground, the space around him, begins to change. The edges of the world blur like watercolor in rain. The walls melt into mist. The crying fades completely. A great silence falls. He stands in a space between, no longer among the living, but not yet beyond. The air here is neither cold nor warm. There is no sky, no earth, only a vast emptiness filled with the echo of his own breath, or what feels like one. He realizes he is being watched again. But this time, it is not one presence. It is many. Faint outlines form in the darkness, dozens of eyes glimmering faintly, curious, patient, ancient. He remembers another teaching. When the body dies, the soul is guided. Yama's messengers come not in anger, but in duty. They are unseen until the soul is ready to see. He isn't ready. Every nerve, if nerves still exist, screams to go back. But there is no back, only forward. Then comes the voice again, closer, deeper, like thunder rolling through the bones of creation. You have left the world of men. The path ahead awaits. The shadows begin to part, forming what looks like a narrow path of faint light, stretching endlessly into the dark. It feels familiar, and yet utterly foreign. With each hesitant step, he moves closer to what lies beyond, to the realm of judgment, to the truth of what Sanatan Dharma calls the ancestral walk, the inn between world where every soul must travel before its destiny unfolds. And as he walks, the memory of the flames, the wails of the living, and the last warmth of human touch fade into a haunting silence. The journey has begun. The silence stretches endlessly. There is no sky, no horizon, only a dim, gray expanse that seems to breathe. The air is heavy, not with wind or sound, but with something ancient, something waiting. He walks, or thinks he does, though the ground beneath him feels like mist. Each step sends faint ripples through the darkness, as though he's moving through water rather than air. The memory of fire still lingers somewhere behind him. The smell of smoke, the sound of mourning, the faint cry of his name, all fading, swallowed by this vast emptiness. For the first time, he realizes that time itself has changed. There's no sense of minutes or hours here, only a slow, haunting rhythm that seems to pulse through everything. He looks around. Shapes shift in the distance, shadows that seem alive. The air carries faint whispers, indistinguishable yet filled with emotion. He feels watched. The darkness itself feels aware of him, studying him, measuring him. Then, faintly, a light flickers in the distance, small, golden, swaying like a lamp caught in the wind. Hope stirs within him, though he doesn't know why. He moves toward it, drawn as if by instinct, but the closer he comes, the colder the air grows. The light doesn't stay still. It moves away, slow and deliberate, leading him further into the void. He follows, perhaps out of desperation, perhaps because he senses there's no other choice. Each step seems to take him deeper into a space between worlds. Then he hears it. Footsteps that aren't his, soft at first, then closer, then surrounding him. He turns sharply, searching the gloom. Shadows twist and take form, tall, lean figures wrapped in darkness, their faces hidden, their presence immense. The air hums with their arrival. A voice, neither male nor female, echoes from everywhere at once. Do not fear us. We are the servants of the path. He wants to ask who they are, but his voice no longer belongs to him. Thoughts echo instead of words. Somehow, they hear him anyway. You are between worlds. The voice continues. You have left the plane of men, but you have not yet reached the plane of truth. We are the Yamadutas, the messengers of Yama, Lord of Dharma. We come for all who have crossed the threshold. He freezes. The stories he heard as a child flood back. Tales of Yama's servants who guide souls through judgment, who lead them through darkness toward what they have earned. But hearing it from them, seeing their forms move like smoke and shadow, is more terrifying than any story ever told. One of the beings steps forward. Its eyes burn faintly red, not with malice, but with purpose. Your time among the living is done. It says, now you must walk the path of your own making. The soul trembles, the path of my own making. The thought echoes weakly. Every thought, every act, every secret forms it. Replies the being, you carry your world within you. Now it unfolds before you. As those words are spoken, the space around him begins to change. The gray emptiness ripples, and visions start to form. Moments from his life, scattered like fragments of broken glass. He sees his childhood home, his parents' faces, the laughter of his youth. Then, darker memories, betrayal, anger, things done in silence, when no one was watching. Each memory glows faintly, suspended in the air like lanterns. The light of joy feels warm, comforting. The light of guilt burns cold and sharp. Together they swirl around him, forming a storm of truth. The Yamadutas stand motionless, their presence unwavering. One gestures, and the swirling memories slow, forming a long, winding road of light and shadow that stretches forward into the distance. This is your path, the voice says. Each step will bring you closer to what you truly are. 13 days of the world will pass. For you, it will feel like eternity. A shiver runs through him. He looks at the road, part glowing gold, part dark as ink. The two paths twist together, merging and separating like a serpent of light and shadow. He feels drawn toward the darker side, though fear grips him. He takes a hesitant step. Immediately, the world responds. A chill pierces through him, not pain, but a deep ache that touches memory itself. He sees flashes, the people he wronged, the moments he ignored kindness, the faces that fade when he looks too long. He wants to turn back, but the Yamadutas speak again. You cannot return. You must walk until you reach the 13th dawn. He doesn't understand what that means, but the weight in their voice tells him it is not negotiable. He moves forward. The light dims. The whispers grow louder now, taking shape into voices. Some cry his name. Others laugh, mocking. He cannot tell if they are real or echoes of his conscience. He covers his ears, but he has no ears to cover. The sound comes from within. He begins to run. The faster he moves, the heavier the air becomes. Shadows rise like waves, towering and immense, faces forming and fading in the dark. Some are people he knew. Others, creatures beyond understanding. He stumbles, and for the first time, feels something solid. The ground beneath him is no longer mist. It's stone, cold, rough, ancient. He looks down. Etched into the surface are symbols glowing, faintly red. Sanskrit verses he remembers from sacred texts. Words of karma, duty, rebirth. A realization dawns. This is not punishment. It is reflection. The soul is made to face itself, stripped of all lies, all masks. Every deed becomes a mirror. The Yamadutas watch silently. One raises its hand and gestures toward the end of the path. Far ahead, a massive gate stands, black, shimmering with faint gold light, guarded by towering figures holding staffs that glow like lightning. Beyond that gate, one says, lies the judgment of your journey. You are not alone in walking it. Many walk beside you unseen, unheard. He glances around and realizes, yes, shadows of other souls flicker nearby, faint outlines moving in silence. Some weep, some wander aimlessly. Others scream and vanish into the dark. The realization strikes him like thunder. This is where all souls come after death. He feels the faintest pulse of warmth, a distant connection to the living world. Somewhere, he knows, his family is still performing the first day rituals, lighting lamps, chanting mantras. The prayers reach him faintly, like the sound of a river in the distance. The light from those prayers feels like small embers touching his path, easing the weight of fear. He closes his eyes and whispers without sound, "Don't stop praying." Then, with a deep breath, though he no longer breathes, he steps forward again. The gate looms closer, the air charged with unseen power. He can feel it watching him, alive, waiting to open, or to close forever. The first day has ended. The journey has begun. The gate loomed like a mountain carved from darkness itself, vast, ancient, and alive. The soul stood before it, trembling, feeling the cold pulse that seeped from its surface. Strange symbols shimmered across the arch, glowing faintly gold, then fading, like breathing. The Yamadutas waited behind him, silent as the void. For a moment, there was only stillness. Then, the gate began to move, not with sound, but with a vibration so deep it seemed to shake the soul itself. The air thickened, the faint glimmers of light flickered and died. The gate opened. What lay beyond was not heaven nor hell, but something in between. A realm of shadows. The first step inside felt like plunging into the depths of an ocean made of darkness. The air was heavy, thick, almost alive. Around him, shapes shifted, vague forms of people, animals, and creatures that defied reason. Some drifted aimlessly, whispering to themselves. Others seemed frozen in anguish, eyes hollow, mouths open in silent screams. He could feel their emotions, sorrow, regret, confusion, echoing through him like waves. It was unbearable. One of the Yamadutas spoke softly behind him, its voice echoing across the shadows. This is the Pitru Loka, the realm of wandering souls. Those who cling to the world of men stay here, unable to move forward. Those who accept truth pass through. Pitru Loka. The word sent a chill through him. He remembered hearing it once during a priest's sermon, the place where the unfulfilled wander. It had sounded distant then, almost mythical. Now, he was standing inside it. The air shimmered. From the haze emerged figures that seemed familiar. He squinted, and his heart, if he still had one, twisted in terror. It was his father, or something that looked like him. The same eyes, the same voice, whispering his name. "Come with me." He took a step forward instinctively, but the Yamaduta's voice thundered in his mind. "Do not be deceived. They are memories, shadows of your longing. This realm feeds on attachment." He froze. The figure smiled, and then its face began to melt, eyes turning hollow, mouth stretching unnaturally wide, whispering words that no longer made sense. The illusion collapsed into mist, leaving behind only silence. He stood shaking, fear crawling through every part of him. The darkness seemed to close in, whispering secrets he didn't want to hear. Everywhere he looked, souls wandered. Some sat curled in corners of shadow, whispering names of loved ones. Others floated in circles, reliving the same moments over and over. Deaths, betrayals, regrets. One soul reached toward him, its hand trembling, its voice faint. "Tell them not to forget me." He stepped back. "I can't," he whispered. "I'm like you." The soul smiled weakly before fading into a mist of silver dust. He felt the weight of realization. This is where the forgotten go. Every ritual, every prayer, every lamp lit in their memory keeps them from fading. Without remembrance, they dissolve into the silence forever. The Yamadutta moved beside him. For 13 days, the soul is given passage through the layers of its own truth. It said, "Here, you face the chains of attachment, the fear of loss, the pain of being unseen." He swallowed hard. "And after that, judgment." The being replied simply. The word struck him like lightning. Judgment. He had heard it all his life. But here, it was not an idea. It was a destination. As he walked deeper into Pitru Loka, he noticed the air began to hum. Faint chants echoed from somewhere far away. The sound of Shraddha rituals being performed by his family on earth. The sound was weak but steady, and wherever it reached, the shadows retreated slightly, as though touched by light. He closed his eyes, feeling the vibration of those prayers. They weren't just words, they were bridges, fragile connections that kept him from falling completely into despair. Then, suddenly, the ground beneath him cracked. A gust of cold wind roared through the darkness, and the scene shifted again. He found himself standing before a vast river, dark as ink, flowing endlessly under a sky of swirling clouds. The Yamadutta's voice spoke once more. "This is Veterani. The river every soul must cross. It flows with the weight of sins and sorrows. The righteous pass easily. The wicked drown." He stared at the water. Shapes moved within it. Limbs, faces, hands reaching, glowing, crying out. The smell of decay and fear hung in the air. "I can't cross that," he whispered. "You must," said the Yamadutta. "You cannot turn back. Those who hesitate remain here, forever longing for what was." He took a step forward. The moment his foot touched the river, a wave of agony surged through him. Memories of his misdeeds, his anger, his selfishness, each one burned like fire. The water wasn't just liquid. It was memory, alive, biting, unrelenting. He gasped, though he no longer breathed, and forced himself forward. Each step felt heavier than the last. The hands in the water tried to pull him down, whispering his failures, his regrets. "You will drown," they hissed. "You don't deserve the light." Tears that no longer existed filled his eyes. "I must reach the other side." Somewhere, faintly, he heard his family again, chanting, offering rice and ghee into the sacred fire. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The sound pierced the storm. The river's fury began to ease. The whispers grew distant, and slowly, painfully, he reached the other side. The Yamadutta stood waiting. Its eyes glowed softly. "You have faced the shadows of your deeds," it said, "but the judgment of your essence is yet to come." He looked back across the river, the endless black water now calm, reflecting the faint light of his prayers. Souls still wandered there, lost, unremembered. Some called out for help. Others were silent, too tired to cry. he realized that if not for the rituals of the living, he too might have been trapped there, nameless, forgotten. The Yamaduta turned toward a distant horizon that shimmered faintly gold. "Come," it said, "the 13 days are passing. Each night, the veil grows thinner. Soon, the truth of your life will stand before you." He followed. Behind him, the river faded into mist. Ahead, the air brightened, faintly at first, then with an eerie radiance that revealed towering halls of light and shadows stretching endlessly into the unknown. The realm of shadows was behind him, but before him lay something greater, the Hall of Karma, the place where every life, every thought, and every hidden act is laid bare before the eternal law. And as he stepped forward, the light grew colder. The 4th day had begun. The light ahead flickered like a dying flame, wavering between gold and ash. The soul followed the Yamaduta through vast halls that seemed to stretch beyond sight. The walls were carved with scenes that moved, rivers of time flowing backward, faces forming and dissolving within the stone. Every echo of a step carried the weight of countless voices. The air shimmered. A whisper came from everywhere and nowhere. 13 days, 13 veils, 13 truths. The soul could not tell if the words were spoken or remembered. Each syllable rang inside him like the echo of fate. They entered a chamber vast and silent. In the center, a great circle of light rotated slowly, filled with thousands of tiny orbs, souls, each glowing faintly, some bright as stars, others dim and fading. The Yamaduta gestured toward it. "Every soul walks the same circle," it said. 13 days to remember, release, and rise. The circle pulsed once, and then the first veil descended. The first day, the awakening. He had already lived it. The moment his breath stopped, his body left behind. His confusion and terror. That was the first passage. Realization. The soul awakens but refuses to believe it is dead. The living world calls faintly, but the thread is already broken. He remembers the tears of his family, the fire, the smoke. The rituals had begun. The second day, the separation. A new vision unfolds. He sees his home, his family sitting before the flickering lamp, offering water and rice, whispering mantras through tears. The air between them glows faintly. His presence lingers, unseen but felt. He watches as they speak of him in the past tense. It cuts deep. He wants to scream, "I am still here!" But the truth is merciless. The more you cling, the longer you wander, murmurs the Yamaduta. You must let go of the name you loved, the form you carried. Letting go feels like tearing the world apart. But the light within him flickers, urging him forward. The third day, the memory. The circle of light spins again. The chamber around him fades, replaced by a storm of images, fragments of his life flashing before him. Childhood laughter, his mother's song, the warmth of festivals, the smell of rain-soaked earth. Then darker visions, lies, greed, moments he wished forgotten. Each memory burns as it passes. Every act creates its echo, says the Yamaduta. Every echo finds its source. He understands now. Nothing truly ends. Everything circles back. The fourth day, the river of shadows, he has already crossed it. The river that mirrored his sins. The Yamaduta nods in silence as the scene unfolds again. The screams from the depths fade into whispers. The prayers from his family still reach him faintly, like threads of light across endless dark. The living and the dead are bound by faith, the being says. Every mantra pulls you closer to freedom. He feels gratitude, not the kind born of thought, but one that comes from the soul itself. The fifth day, the reckoning of desire. The air grows heavier. The circle stops spinning. Around him appear figures from his past, the ones he loved, the ones he wronged. Their faces shift, sometimes kind, sometimes cold. Each once one stares into his eyes, wordless, but their gaze burns through him. Every desire leaves a trace. The Yamaduta whispers, "The soul must see what it worshipped." He sees himself clinging to wealth, to anger, to pride. Each attachment burns away like dry leaves in fire, leaving only ash. The pain is unbearable, but beneath it lies a strange peace, the weight of illusion lifting. The sixth day, the bridge of light. For the first time since death, he sees true light, a bridge spanning an endless void. It shimmers like crystal, woven from prayers, faith, and the karma of countless lives. Souls cross it slowly, their light changing as they walk. Some stumble and fall into darkness, others glow brighter with each step. The bridge is built by the living, says the Yamaduta. Every act of kindness, every tear, every mantra adds a stone. He looks below. Shadows of souls without remembrance drift in despair. Unable to cross, the sight chills him. He steps onto the bridge, feeling each vibration, the prayers of his family reaching across realms. The seventh day, the weight of silence. Halfway across the bridge, the light dims again. The voices fade. For the first time, he is utterly alone. No sound, no guide, only the vast hum of the cosmos. This is the silence before truth, echoes a faint voice within him. Here, you meet what you are when nothing remains. Memories dissolve, names fade. Even fear begins to lose meaning. What remains is awareness, bare, raw, infinite. He feels something shift within. It's not joy, not sorrow, but release. The 8th to 12th days, the transformation. The days blur together now, each one less like time and more like awakening. He feels the layers of his human self fall away, the pride, the name, the face, the attachments, every ritual on earth. The lamps lit, the food offered, the prayers whispered, sends light into this vast expanse, guiding him further. He sees his family performing Pindan, offering rice balls and chanting mantras. The offerings glow, transforming into radiant orbs that surround him, clearing the darkness. Each day, the living free you, says the Yamaduta. And each day, you must forgive yourself. Forgiveness. The final weight. It takes more strength than fear. He kneels in the vast emptiness, whispering names he hurt, moments he regrets. The darkness around him softens. The bridge before him begins to glow again, brighter this time, like dawn. The 13th day, the final passage. The Yamaduta stands beside him, its form clearer now, less shadow, more light. The 13th day is the end of wandering. It says, the moment of truth. The world of men performs the final rites. You must face the mirror of karma and accept where you belong. Afar in the distance, he sees a temple of pure light rising from the mist. Bells echo faintly, not of earth, but of eternity. Those who are bound to rebirth will be led to the wheel again. The Yamaduta continues. Those who are free will merge with the divine. He feels a strange peace descend upon him. The fear that once gripped him is gone. In its place, stillness. He looks back one last time, toward the world of the living. He sees his family performing the final rites, their eyes red but filled with calm. The eldest son lights the final lamp, whispering softly, "May you find peace." The words cross the worlds, touching him like a gentle wind. He bows his head. Your time among shadows is done. says the Yamaduta. Now, the gates will open. The light floods the realm. The halls dissolve. The bridge becomes a beam stretching into infinity. He steps forward, and for the first time since death, he feels warmth. Not of fire, but of truth. The 13 days have ended. The veil has lifted. 13 days, that is the time the scriptures whisper about. 13 days for the soul to wander, to remember, to regret, to seek forgiveness, to face judgment. And now, on the final day, the veil between the worlds grows thinner than ever before. The soul stands at the edge of eternity, trembling, waiting for its fate to be written. The rituals on earth have reached their crescendo. Lamps flicker beside photographs, priests chant with lowered eyes, and family members gather, unaware of how their tears echo through realms unseen. The 13th day is called Teravi, the day when the ties between the living and the dead are finally severed. It is said that on this day, the soul stands before the divine court of Yama, the Lord of Death. The journey that began with confusion now meets its resolution. But not all souls reach this moment with peace. For some, the path is filled with clarity and acceptance. For others, it is a storm of shadows and fear, the weight of one's deeds, every act of kindness, every moment of cruelty, now sits heavy in the air like unseen chains. The soul remembers every heartbeat of its past life, the lies told in whispers, the prayers half said, the people loved, the ones betrayed. They appear now, like flickering visions in the dim glow of eternity. Nothing is forgotten. The soul sees how its smallest actions rippled through the world, changing lives, shaping destinies. This is the judgment of karma, silent and absolute, a mirror that reflects not the face, but the essence. In this moment, the voice of Yama is not thunderous, but calm, deeper than silence itself. What have you learned from the life you were given? The voice asks, though no mouth moves. The soul tries to speak, but finds that truth has no words. Deeds speak louder here than any confession. The good shines like faint light. The wrong clings like smoke. The messengers of Yama step back as a balance appears. Two scales, ancient and unchanging. On one side, the weight of compassion. On the other, the burden of cruelty. As the balance tips, the soul feels its fate unfold. For some, a gentle warmth envelops them. The promise of rebirth in peace, of lessons yet to continue. For others, darkness pulls tighter. The promise of a harsher path ahead, to repay what was taken, to heal what was broken. And for the rarest of all, the truly awakened, a silence beyond comprehension opens. These are the souls who find moksha, release from the endless cycle, their light merging with the infinite. But few reach this state. It requires lifetimes of purity, devotion, and detachment from the chains of desire. Back on earth, the 13th day ceremony concludes. Offerings of food and water are made, symbolizing the final farewell. The priest recites the last verses, asking for the soul's peaceful passage. The family lights incense, one final act of love. As the smoke curls upward, something shifts in the unseen. The soul feels a pull, gentle, almost tender. The threads that once bound it to the living loosen. The world it knew fades into mist, its sounds becoming distant echoes. But before leaving, the soul turns one last time. It sees the faces of those it loved, now bathed in candlelight. It wants to reach out, to whisper that it is free, that it forgives, that it remembers. But the laws of existence are absolute. There is no crossing back. Instead, the soul leaves a whisper in the air, carried by the faintest wind. Sometimes, Those left behind feel it. A sudden stillness, a warmth, a flickering candle with no breeze. It is not coincidence. It is farewell. In Sanatan Dharma, death is not the end but transformation. The body perishes, but the Atman, the eternal self, continues its journey. The 13th day marks the closure of one chapter and the beginning of another, unseen by mortal eyes. The rituals, the prayers, the tears, they are not for the dead alone. They are for the living, reminding them that each moment is sacred, that every act writes the story of one's next dawn. As the final mantra fades, silence descends once more. The family disperses, yet something lingers, an unseen peace. Far beyond the limits of light and shadow, the soul moves toward its next destiny. Perhaps it will be reborn under a different sky, among different faces, or perhaps it will dissolve into the eternal. Beyond suffering, beyond time, beyond the terror of death itself. And so, the tale of 13 days after death in Sanatan Dharma closes not with fear, but with understanding. For in the dance of creation and destruction, every ending hides a beginning. Every death is but the doorway to another dawn. Yet still, when the night grows too quiet, when the wind whispers through the dark, some say you can hear them, the souls who linger, the echoes of the 13 days, watching, remembering, waiting.